The Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. We would not be where we are without the incredible support of John and the team. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information, or follow the link in the description below. And as this is 90 after 90, I want to thank our sponsors, Cosmetic Repair Solutions, an independent award-winning network of vehicle accident repair centres located in Chesterfield, Rotherham, Dinnington, Barnsley and Derby. Visit the website to find out more or get an estimate at cosmeticrepair.co.uk.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades, and welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is 90 after 90, up to 90 minutes of football chat, or sometimes over, after the 90-plus minutes of football that we've just witnessed. I'm just, as I'm here, there's a really smug Phil Parkinson on TV. It makes me want to smack him. But anyway, we're a family channel. We don't do things like that. I'm just very frustrated at the moment. We've thrown that away. Sheffield United have thrown that game away. No doubt about it. And I'm raging about it, but I'm trying to have a little bit of calm and a little bit of composure about it. Such an opportunity in front of us, and it's a deserved loss. It's a deserved loss. Look, I'm no Wrexham fan. I think I make it pretty clear how I feel about them as a football club. And look, I must say as well, I don't want to get misconstrued with this. No problem with Wrexham fans or anything like that. Or I don't buy into the whole media drama, media circus of them being a fairy tale, because I don't think it is. I think it's been bankrolled to get them up, and that's fine, absolutely fine, and that's the way things go, and that's part of the business that we're in. Some clubs will have more money than others. They haven't necessarily got more money than other clubs in the Championship. They've done well, but they are chucking money at it, and that's fine. Like I say, it's more. The thing that annoys me is, oh, what a wonderful journey it is. It must be for the fans, undoubtedly, but it's not like a against the odds story. It's not like a Luton Town, is it, who climbed through the leagues through grit and determination. It's not a Wimbledon. Either way, that's by the by. Tonight, they've done us. They've done us. All ends up, I think, it was in the balance. It were on a knife edge for a lot of the game, and I think we failed the bottle test tonight. I think we have, if I'm honest. I don't know what Wilder's said yet. He's not come on. I'm going to wait and see what he says, and we'll bring it to you live what he says, because I think it'll be a really interesting conversation. We had some comments in the chat earlier about Wilder out, which I think is, personally, I think is ludicrous. But again, this is a platform for everybody to come on and not be judged for their own thing. But I am also allowed to disagree with that opinion. So while I'll always be an open platform or present an open platform, it doesn't mean I can't disagree with your opinion. Everybody knows how I feel. I'm probably too far pro Wilder, and a lot of people will think that. But to say Wilder out after losing 5-3 to Wrexham, at Wrexham, yeah, we're 3-1 up, and it's incredibly frustrating. I think there's a couple of players that have done themselves no harm today. I think Callum O'Hare played really well, particularly in first half. I think Patrick Bamford signed the contract, big boy, signed the contract. And I think we've been done by a style of player that didn't. Styles make fights, and this is something that we've talked about previously. And we looked terrified every time they came, particularly from set pieces like corners. The corner that Kiefer Moore scores from, unforgivable. Allowing the best. We know all about Kiefer Moore. He was at Sheffield United, didn't have his best spell, but allowing him the sort of space when he has proven this year what a lethal aerial threat he can be in this league, which we knew anyway. But to leave him unmarked, I know Lee said on the watch along that it looked like Tanganga was his man, and then he's rolled round the back to go and pick up Doyle instead. it's not good enough. It's not. You need to be marking Kiefer more. But I want listen. It's not about what I think. It's what you guys think tonight. I'm keen to hear what you want to say. We're going to get some callers on. We've got people waiting already. I've synced up some of the comments, but it's missed some off the stream builder. So I'll just get through those that can't appear on screen. Wayne says, "Hi guys, what a crazy game. Bindon is a definite Marmite player. Another second half collapse. You should do a programme on why this happens most games, because I don't know what's going on. It's been a while since any substitutes have made a positive impact for us. Lack of quality, tactics maybe. I thought he should have took O'Hare off and had Matos help claim the midfield back. That's where we lost it, I think." That's what we talked about at half-time, really, that he had a choice to bring off O'Hare and go 3 in the middle to match them up, because they were 3 in the middle. But at that stage, both of us said, and it's easy to look back on the game differently now, because it's in hindsight, it seems a different answer. But we were both saying, you don't bring O'Hare off. And yes, it would have balanced the game up, but O'Hare were one of our most influential players then. So would you rather we adapt to them, which in hindsight we probably should have done or could have done? Or do you try and impose your own game on them and have O'Hare hurt them when we break through the middle? So it's difficult, isn't it? WNL has become a Rambler. Thank you for being a Ramble supporter, mate. Very much appreciated. Ron says, "Sorry, but Wilder to blame. Changes Samari. Shocking. Well done, Chris. Shocking." I'm not on this. Look, I don't particularly rate Samari. I've been open about that from the start, and I've taken some stick for it whenever he's played well as well. But this is what it's about, isn't it? It's to and fro. Some people have different opinions on different players. Gyro and Blaster are clearly the best two we've got that are fit at the moment. Because obviously Peck's in the conversation for a start. Other than those three, who have we got that's available? I mean, Tom Davis would be in the conversation as well, but he's never fit. So you're looking at Samari and Matos, really, to come into the middle. And it's a huge drop-off. So when... we can't forget as well, there's a lot of unseen things that we're not aware of. They'll have all the data trackers and stuff, who's running on empty, who's absolutely... And I didn't think Gyro had his best game today either, and I think that's largely because they tried to counter him. They'd done their homework on him. So Gyro comes off, Samari comes on. It is a downgrade. Undoubtedly it's a downgrade. But that's what we've got. That's all we've got in the middle at the moment available, because Peck and Davis are injured. So... What do you do? Do you run Riedeveld into ground so he's not up and running for Stoke? Our Blaster played 90 minutes tonight. That's not ideal, is it, for anybody? So I push back on it slightly, Ron, because I don't think we've the options to do anything different at the moment. Alex says, "So disappointing to go 3-1 up and chuck it away. Don't like to say it, but I don't want to see Samari in a Blades shirt again. Tepid, slow, offers nothing. Get rid of Samari," says Ron. "So weak, we lost it in midfield." Alex says, "Wilder will be fuming after this. Wonder if some have played the last game. Still need to secure survival before looking any higher." And Ron says, "And again, sorry, but Cooper is not 100%. He's punching instead of catching." Yeah, I agree. I don't think Cooper's been anywhere near his best. You just hope that he can come back to some sort of resemblance of what he's been. Lou says, this is Batman Lou of Top 20 Takes and All Aboard the Championship of Ramble FC, says, "Going to comment rather than come on stream tonight, Jim. Too irked by the performance and don't want to let it ruin family time. Talking about it would only make me worse. I'm afraid this is a rebuild job for next season now. Really poor game management today. Let a really average side play on their terms, and we didn't have anything off the bench to make a positive impact. Just as well, need to save my minutes for upcoming streams. Rebuild needs to start in January. Some need to go. If I see Samari play again, I'll lose my head. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe." That's from Lou Walker, who is known to be a positive Blade. One of the most positive Blades we've got in the Platinum chat. Always trying to look on the bright side of things. And he's fuming tonight. Absolutely fuming with that. Paul says, "Think Cooper needs time on the bench." I don't, because... I certainly don't at the moment. Coming up next is Chris Wilder. So we'll do Chris Wilder and then we'll get to our first calls. But it's a little bit like Ron will be having the same conversation about that. Why is he playing Adam Davis? Because Davis has dropped another clanger. Look, Cooper doesn't look look at his best at the moment. Absolutely he doesn't. And I love Michael Cooper, and I'm very pleased he's at the football club. I think he's hopefully our long-term number one. But he's going through a dip at the minute, and we need to stick by him. in my opinion. And yes, I might not say that for other players. Excuse me. So I think Cooper is the answer for us in goal. However, if he is playing with any type of injury, get somebody in to cover him while he goes off, because if we don't and he continues down this vein, it's only going to get worse, isn't it? Bean says, I know it's not happened as much lately, but our reaction when we go behind is poor. To go 3-1 up and not get at least a point is inexcusable. We look shaky all game, even when we were winning. Tom says, I think this is the battering back down to reality some people needed. West Brom was a low, but this is lower. We look like the Mickey Mouse team tonight. One word, embarrassing. We look like the Mickey Mouse team tonight. I see what he did there. Definitely need some improvements in January, says Bean. Midfield looked knackered. Right wing has to be improved on. I agree. Think teams will start to target us aerially now after that. Dave Morwood says, well, that was a bit of a letdown. Not on tonight, Jimmy. Too much going on here. No problem, mate. At least I'm having a good time up all the rambles. Luke says, long ball all game, and was obvious what their game plan was and still couldn't stop it. Worrying and disappointing. Joe says, learnt how to attack but forgot how to defend. Tanganga shocking for their fourth. And what is Sam doing with that header? I agree. So frustrating. Bamford and Sariki with some great link-up mind. Get me to Stoke. Just a couple more that can't be on the thing, and then we're back up to sync. Riedeveld was so poor, says Beast Boy, tonight, and I don't know why it took for them to take the lead for us to switch on, and didn't really see much of Gus tonight either. Chip Butty says, I like the players. Looks like the players had too much ale last night. We were second to everything. It's not the end of the world, though. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. I do think I'll settle on that, though. It's not the end of the world. And Alex says, don't like to be negative, but fuming after that. This season is a failure, and that's at the owner's door. They're lucky Wilder is back, and we'll sort it given time. Only 4 clear of trouble. Yeah, we are. We are, mate. I think that's probably fair to say. Then we're back. And Joe says Riedeveld was dispossessed too often. I agree, but looking at it, he had 2 men on him a lot of the game. It was clear that he'd been identified as the man that everything goes through. And if you cut out Riedeveld, you cut out a lot of our impact. And they did that in the middle. Sully in the Rock says, morning from down under. Looks like the Blades have done themselves again. Poor second half. Yeah, no two ways about it, mate. That's pretty much how it went. Why is he taking Bamford off when he was causing Wrexham problems at the back and scored 2 goals already? I don't understand it. Yeah, I think he'd started to fade, and this is just an excuse that I have to throw out there because I do not know. But they've got all the information and the data out there. We don't know how he's struggling, if he's struggling or whatever. You could always say keep him on anyway because he's better than what we've got. But why have strikers on the bench? I don't know. Mate. You know what I think of Bamford. Joe says it's daft to lose from 3-1 up, but that game could have gone either way. An own goal, a soft pen, Campbell having his shirt torn off him in the phase before they put the ball up for their fourth, and more pulling out the finish that Chong didn't in the first half. That's true, Joe. That's true. Right, we're back. Oh no, they're just giving a Masters advert first, so we've got a few more comments we can read. Made Wrexham look $1 million, says Chariots. Players like Amer are head and shoulders above in individual quality, yet we failed to get them controlling the game. 4 losses from winning positions. It's shocking. I didn't realise it was that. For 7 weeks, more did FA, and now this, says Joe. Ray says, we did look weak at the back. Score 3 goals away from home. You shouldn't lose, but we are Blades, and we know different. Poor second half, and Campbell should have scored right at the end. Yeah, he should. He should. Carl says, fair play to Moore and Wrexham. Just thought we played into their hands, trying to play 100-mile-an-hour football. Agree. Quite a naive approach, I thought. Stick says, no talk of playoffs or going up, please. Why are Wilder's ex-strikers banging them in when a lot of time they couldn't hit a barn door for us? Total tosh. Chrissy Wilder coming up now. Let's have a look at this. What's he got to say? I don't think you can hear it through my mic, so I'll I'll try and give you it word for word. Bad side of a result. Good for the neutral. Can't concede 5 goals at any level of football and expect to get a result. And self-inflicted. It gave them a massive handout. Timing of their goals, especially their second. We knew they were going to come out on the front foot. And we matched that. Got us noses in front. Conceded a poor goal from our point of view straight away. Pivotal moment was the second goal. And it gave them hope. And they capitalised. 5 goals. And all the goals from our point of view were really poor. We couldn't handle their front three. Especially second half. Kiefer does what Kiefer does. And we didn't deal with him. We spoke pretty much about the players needing to be wary of the opposition. Is it frustrating that you've had to go in there and repeat what we said before in different games? He didn't understand the question. Is it frustrating for you to go in and say the same again after a defeat? Yeah. The goals are poor goals from our point of view. Avoidable, and it's game management. You look at all the goals, and we could do better with all of them. They'll look at our goals and say that they could do better. But they've scored 5, we've scored 3. And we've not got the result we wanted. Any frustrations with some of the officials' decisions? No. Not using any excuses. As far as I'm concerned, a couple that they were shouting for, which weren't penalties. But there's no excuses from us. We'll concentrate on us. Concede 5 goals at any level, you make it really difficult to get any sort of result. So reset and go again. Just got to defend so much better. Their front three caused our back four problems that we couldn't deal with. Very downtrodden Chris Wilder, as you would expect. Okay. Just try and remember where I am. I think I'm at Bry's comment next, and I've got gents that have been waiting very patiently. So let's first bring on our first guest of the evening. It is the man in black. This guy's done. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, I'm good, Jimmy. Can't see you, mind.
Can't see me. I'll try and get you on, mate. I'll try.
Yeah. Well, after that result, not too good. It's not good.
Talk to me, mate. Talk to me.
Just overrunning midfield, I think, weren't we? But I think you said it. Oh, there we go. See you now. Like you said before, though, I don't think there's much we can do. What Wilder or Al Neil can do about it. To be honest with you, I think we haven't got the squad depth fit at the moment to do anything about it. Because I think after half an hour, we could tell that our normal game plan wasn't going to work.
Yeah,
there was. Yeah. We like to play it through the lines, play it through the midfield, then maybe get it out wide, get a cross in. We could tell early on, Cooper's going long all the time, Tanganga's going long all the time, because we couldn't play it in the midfield because they were, like I say, overrunning us.
That's true.
And I think his hands were tied. Maybe he could have dropped Hamer into there because we haven't got people fit. Maybe that was an option, just to see if that would make a difference. But then you lose his effect going forward. I think
you're unbalanced then because you're taking him in off the left, aren't you?
Yeah, so. Exactly. And this is the thing. I think if he had a Davies fit, a Peck fit, different kettle of fish. I really do. I think Gyro did have his best game. He didn't, but you don't judge him on that one performance, do you? I think he needed a rest anyway. I think the intention probably was not to play him for 90. Blaster was dead on his feet.
Yeah, it was.
I'd probably say after about 75 minutes, but who'd you bring on? You know what I mean?
That's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. It's the huge drop off. Like Ron's commented, and rightly so, that he's disappointed that Samari came on, and I get that. But you know, what's he playing at bringing Riedeveld off? Well, Riedeveld I thought were quite poor. Probably if not the West Brom performance, which we know he was ill for, probably is. I say his worst, but that's because of his other performances have been so strong. So I wasn't, surprised at him coming off. but it's always going to be a drop-off to the next player because the squad isn't deep enough at the moment with the injuries we've got to keep that level of player on the field. So what choice does he have? He keeps Riedeveld on, who's blowing and not playing very well. He keeps Blaster on, who's blowing and, not having a huge impact because, they're outnumbered in centre midfield. Or you bring O'Hare off for a Samari, for example, and people would have gone mad at that, but that gives you more balance as a defensive shape in the middle. So it's a tough decision to make, particularly when you start chasing the game as well to match them up.
Yeah, we were struggling all game. In fact, I think taking our chances that we did have, I can't think of a sustained 10, 15 minutes of pressure that we had throughout that game then. We had our moments. Bamford's first goal, I'm telling you, typical
so
number 9,
good.
that, innit? It's so good. That's what you want from a number 9. Sariki's second cross for the second goal is brilliant. Yeah. And I never agree with Andy Hinchcliffe, by the way, ever.
Me neither.
He was totally right where he says he's so good going forward. He is. He is really good going forward. He's shocking at the back because he was getting caught left, right, and centre, which was bringing Tanganga across all the time to try and cover him. I think, it's a hard result. I don't know why. This, and I think a few other people have said it, this one hurts more than West Brom.
Yeah. I think there were reasons.
The opposition.
There were reasons behind West Brom as well, I think we could all understand and sort of take it on the chin a little bit that we knew that the squad had been hit by illness and injury. And we're still suffering some injuries in squad, but we should have had enough to get something tonight. And we've been done, really. There's no real excuse for it either. It's not like just our better players didn't show up, I don't think.
I think Callum Ayre's done all right, Annie. Pat Bamford's done all right today, I think. You can't deny that. Tariki's done okay going forward, but being shocked again. McCallum, what he's trying to do, flicking, he must know he's there. You can't flick a header backwards knowing there's a player there because you're going to get beat in the air. Just attack the ball and head it away. And I like McCallum. I really do.
He's done great this season.
I can say, and I respect people's decisions and opinions about Wilden. Yeah, he's made one mistake, which I'll come on to in a minute, I think, in this game. How people are turning around, I hope they're on the wind-up. To say Wilder out, if you're going to say that, please back it up and give a reason.
Yeah, and who's going to come in and do a better job?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to do a better job? And B, why?
Yeah, what do you expect?
I don't understand that. And everyone, like I say, is entitled to their opinion, and that's what the channel's all about. I just don't understand that. I didn't understand, I'll be blatantly honest, the Burrows and McCallum piece.
No.
I didn't know what he was trying to do there, because I thought they were more threatening on the other side.
Yeah, I did.
To be honest with you.
I did.
Where I would have took Chong off and put Brooks on. I think Lee said exactly the same as well. I probably would have done that. But, it's a disappointing result. People saying we need to look down. Yeah, I have to admit, I looked at the table and the first thing I did was look down. I didn't look up. Yeah, because there's only 4 points. There's only 4 points. And we're 10 points off playoffs. I'm like...
I'll have a bet with anybody. I don't mean Blades, obviously, because I think it'll be more rival fans, but I would have a bet with anybody that we survive this season. It shouldn't even be a conversation.
I don't disagree there. I think there's a lot worse teams in the league. We're not going to go down. But the first thing I did is look at that. I didn't look at, how far are we off Stoke now? Yeah. I really didn't, because I don't think we're going to get there. But then again, I change my mind every week.
I know.
Come on,
we all do, though, guys. We all do. If we beat Stoke, we'll be coming on saying, "Oh, it's back on. It's back on. We're only 7 points or 8 points away now." So we are at the halfway point. There's so many points still to play for, and I think
we've got to get over 2 points a game, though, Jimmy. I think that's
I know
a
we
tough
have.
ask.
I think it's really, really tough.
It's a really tough ask, that, I think, now.
Well, how positive Lou is, and he said tonight, look, it's a rebuild job now for next season. We're not going to do it.
I don't disagree with Lou there. I think, but then again, it's the only other thing I can say to that, it's normally 2 points a game, probably for us now. But it's anybody. I would not have had Watford to beat Leicester today. I'll be blatantly honest. I thought they would have bounced back after the last result. So the league is all over. It's erratic. I'll be honest with you. I didn't have Wrexham down to beat us today either.
No, I didn't.
So there's been a lot of surprise results out there. So let's be honest. Anybody could beat anyone in this league. Is it over? It's not over till the fat lady sings, is it? You know what I mean? There's plenty of points on the table, but I think it's going to be difficult. And Penalty's a penalty, by the way, just for the opinion on that, easy.
Yeah, we're going to ask you about that. I thought it were a penalty as well.
Yeah, penalty every day. I think the yellow card's harsh, though. He made a genuine attempt to play the ball there. He just, I thought the yellow card was a bit harsh.
Penalty's punishment enough, isn't it?
I thought so, in my opinion. But he's a good referee, to be honest. Okay. I don't get it.
Gaz, top man, mate. How do you fancy us going into Stoke? Hard to say after tonight, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I'd take a point. But Stoke are hit and miss, though.
I know they are. I know.
Stoke are hit and miss. You don't know what Stoke's going to turn up, but at the moment, we don't know what after the last 3 games, you don't know what United's going to turn up. You don't. Because if we were at home, I'd say 3. I think away, we've got Leicester straight after that.
I know.
It's not easy. The next 2 games are not easy. I would probably take 4 points from them 2 games right now.
Leicester and Stoke.
Stoke, yeah.
I'd take 4 points, yeah.
Yeah, I'd take 4 points. Home against Leicester, I'd expect us to get a win. But it depends how the week goes. Let's say, I think we're going to struggle in midfield for Stoke because Blaster, I can't see him getting more than about 60, 70 minutes in the next game.
I know.
Gyro, I think, will be all right. I think he can do a 90.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's how it'll go. But Blaster will have to come off at some stage, and then we're weaker for it, aren't we? So
it's a difficult one. It's difficult for Stoke, I think.
Top man, Gaz. Thank you for joining us, pal. And I'll catch you soon.
Anytime, mate. You know that. I'll
Cheers,
catch you in a bit.
You will, tell mate. Top man, Gaz. Right, let's just move on to another caller now. I can see he's been dropping in and out, so I'm going to have to jump. He's going to have to jump the queue. And apologies to the other lads that are waiting. But he looks like he's in a dirty boozer. I'm going to go to. He might be back to his old self tonight. Let's call it right. It's Mark Meldrew. How's it going, pal?
How are you doing, pal? You okay, mate?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Probably about 5 or 6 in, so we're all right. It's
okay.
It's not as bad as I expected, really. But yeah, here's what it is.
Well, Sheffield United are 5 in, aren't they? So, what did you make to that, pal?
It's just one of them, mate. I think at 3-1, you think cruising, but I do think early doors. I think we looked a bit shaky.
I didn't think we were cruising at all tonight. I know what you're saying. Normally 3-1's a score that you think.
Yeah, in the respect to the scoreline, I mean.
Yeah.
But obviously, we just got bullied, mate. You could see it a mile off. I mean, Bindon struggled from off, and he were always going to play tonight. He's been doing well, hasn't he? He's had a couple of decent games, and it just probably shows at where he is as in terms of where he is for us at minute. Do you know what I mean? But I just wanted to touch on Gus Hamer tonight was absolute disgrace. Non-existent. You tell me anything he did in 90 minutes to affect that game. It's just poor, mate, isn't it?
I think on one hand, it's harsh to dig out individuals when it's been collectively. There's 3 or 4 of them you could point to and say. But what I will say with Gus, because we pick him out a lot, certainly for praise and criticism as well. A player of his quality, you'd expect to be able to take a game by its scruff at neck. He's been nowhere near doing that this season for us. And it's so disappointing to know that a player of that quality, because he is that good, he's either disinterested or he's demotivated or he's just, I don't know what's happened to him, but he doesn't look the same player at the moment. And we've seen it in little flashes, but like you say, it's so disappointing. I know you called him a disgrace, but it is so disappointing to not have him. You'd expect a player to lead you forward like that. And I don't mean
that's kind of what. Sorry, I was going to say that's kind of what we were saying at pub. You can expect players to have sort of off days, but non-existent again. And it's what's going off? Is his head somewhere else? It's Aware again. I thought he did well. Good goal again. Bamford, brilliant. I thought he did well again.
Yeah.
Sarike, but I think back four looked dodgy all game, to be honest. And when they got second, you only see sort of one winner, and
yeah, you do.
It maybe shows where we are as a team. And sometimes people have said fixtures have been on our side in terms of odd little bits around it. Like Wednesday was struggling, Portsmouth was struggling at time. We've beat Stoke, and then we've beat obviously we had 10 men last week and Birmingham. And it's just disappointing. I mean, you look, if we win tonight, we're 7 points off playoffs, and we're now 10, and it's disappointing, really. I just, it's a real step, sort of backward step, really, into it. And I think we've got to draw a line under it as quick as possible. We've got a difficult game at Stoke, and then we've got Leicester at home, and these next couple of fixtures will probably tell us sort of roughly where we'll be. But yeah, it's a tough one to take. But listen, we've just got to draw a line under it and go again, haven't we? To be fair, mate. But
I think
it
so,
is what
pal.
it is.
I think so, mate. Mark by Meldrew will be interesting whenever you can get them to us, mate. I can see you're out on ale again tonight, so it might be a late one tomorrow that Mark by Meldrew comes in, but we'll
early doors, mate. I think tomorrow morning, but I'll get myself spruced up and we'll be back on it. I think.
Good stuff. Listen, mate, I meant to ask this before as well, but did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, very good, mate. Thank you. Just it's all about kids and that, innit? Really, and making sure they have a good one. And
you're young and enjoy it.
Yeah, loved it, mate. Loved it. And we had dinner at my mum and dad's and come home and I was building basketball nets at 9 o'clock last night. So yeah, it were all good, mate. But yeah, spot on, nice, mate. Did you?
Yeah, sound, mate. Thank you. Yeah, it were good. And like you said, I'm trying to shift focus back to a good day yesterday now, rather than this
I'll
result
talk about
tonight.
Christmas all day, me, after today's performance. But
I know.
Yeah, you just didn't see it coming, did you? 5 goals, no. You didn't see it coming. I mean, although they were a little bit of a threat then in terms of 3-1, you think, well, just sort of right next 10 or 15 minutes and get through it.
Yeah,
and then go again. Do you know what I mean? And we always look to threat. They always give us an opportunity. But it is what it is, and we've just got to move on, haven't we? And it's a bad night. Wilder will know that, players will know that, and a bit too much turkey for some, including me. So
we get to go again in 3 days, don't we, mate? So it's a quick turnaround, and we'll see what they can do. But thanks for coming on, pal, and I'll catch up with you soon.
I'll see you at Leicester, mate. Take care.
You will. Ta-ra, mate. Bye. Top man, Mark Meldrew. Jump back into some comments now, and then we'll bring our other callers on. Bryce says, "Evening, Jimmy. What an awful display. Defence all over the place. Big up Bamford, played well." Pete says, "Hi, Jimmy. To be honest, they pressed us well, and tippy-tappy football did us. On a good day, we would say we played well, and 3 good goals. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Chin up, lads." Yeah, I think, excuse me, there are some positives to take from today. I just think it's very difficult to see the wood for the trees when you've been so easy to get through. It's, we were such a soft underbelly tonight from United, which we've seen before this season, but we're not used to as fans overall of this club. So we need to be tough to beat, and we weren't tonight. We weren't hard to beat at all. And like a comment earlier was saying, I think playing 100-mile-an-hour football played bang into their hands. We're better footballers than them, I think, if you go man for man. So you should control the game rather than let it be a bit of a Wild West shootout. But, one of them things. Utter dog performance, dog poo performance, says Gaz. 3-1 up away from home, not a chance of getting in the playoffs unless money is spent in January. I don't even think we can talk about it, can we? I don't even think we can entertain talk of the playoffs at the minute. Joe says, unfortunately, that's why this season will be a mid-table finish. Some class performances, some poor performances. Sariki is looking some player. Him and Peck sold for 40 million in the summer combined. Possibly. You can see it happening, Joe, can't you? You can see it happening. Carl says, agreed, played right into their hands, much like Coventry did. Really frustrating stuff. Shren says, how is the financial situation looking for the Blades next year, now that it unfortunately doesn't seem like you'll be getting promoted to join us, marching on together? We'll need to sell in the summer. We'll need to sell because we lose our parachute payments. We're okay in terms of we're not in any trouble like Leicester or anything like that, but we will need to balance the books in the summer. Excuse me. Ray says, yep, Moore looked way off it last week against Swansea, so trust him to turn it on today. Made our defence look small, not just in height. It's amazing, isn't it, Ray? Because we were saying now, Tyler Binden's probably, 6'1"? He doesn't look that big anyway. But last week against Birmingham, he looked about 6'5" at times, the way he carried himself. Today, he looked like a boy against Kiefer Moore, and that's no criticism of Tyler. It's just he's been bullied by an old school centre forward who is top of his game when it comes to aerial threat in the league. If he hadn't have already played for us, excuse me, every Blade tonight would be on saying we need a player like Kiefer Moore, because that's where we go about things. Right, let's get some more callers on. And first up, I can't remember which place I've put everybody, and I think it's right that I go to Russ. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, Right. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, pal. Merry Christmas to you. Did you have a good day yesterday?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Yeah, we had family round in the morning, and then me and the missus had we had a steak. Do you remember?
You said yes. You were having a ribeye, and she were having a fillet or something. Is that right?
That's right, exactly right, mate. Well done, I like that.
See. Yes.
She'll be pleased that you were listening.
Of course I'm listening, always listening.
Very nice.
Yes, I tried to anyway. But what do you think, mate? What do you think about it tonight?
I was disappointed, obviously. Could have been 5-3 other way.
It could.
In a different, slightly different context. I mean, it's right what Wilder said. You concede 5 goals, and you're not going to get anything. The goals were unfortunate. Some were sloppy. Yeah, not a good show. I was a bit surprised at lineup. I thought he'd have gone 2 up top from start.
Oh, did you?
I thought last week's was just purely for
Birmingham,
that particular game, because looking at those 3 centre halves of theirs, although last match we were playing against 3 centre halves, and he chose Bamford to rag them around.
Yeah,
those 3 weren't going to be ragged around. They weren't really mobile enough to be ragged about, so they just packed him on. They just kept. Now, despite of that, he scores 2 goals and probably went man of the match for us. Yeah, because of that.
Yeah,
he had a good game. But I just think, if he could have just got a bit more help. Because Eamon wasn't any help particularly. No,
today. And I think you're right, and I think in hindsight, 2 up top probably works better. But again, it's difficult for him at the time, isn't it? Because we play really well against Birmingham, and you trust the team to go again after putting in such a good performance the week before. Tactically, though, 2 up top against the 3 centre halves who would have been stretched, and then you could have had O'Hare and Hamer wide without Chong on the field. You'd have had a striker up alongside Bamford.
I think you should play the game that's in front of you, regardless of. I mean, you could play with the same personnel, but still within a similar shape or something like that. But you just needed somebody up there outside of Bamford, and that would have given those 3 something to think about, because I don't think they were particularly mobile at all. We just seemed to. I mean, at 3-1 up, we didn't seem to have that nous that we would normally have. I
agree. I think we're a bit naive tonight, weren't we? Yeah.
Start to bring the pace of the game down a little bit, because we got caught up in that. We were competed well. O'Hare was excellent again, and we just really took the game to them, and they've got every right at home, to have a go as well, and that's what they did. It was a lack of athleticism, probably second half. We started running it out of puff. I was chatting to a mate of mine, shout out to Gaz, who pointed that out, that we weren't, we just started running out of steam, and we didn't have anything to
I
bring
agree.
on.
Yeah, we looked like we'd run out of steam, didn't we, last 5-10 minutes?
He had a little mess about, didn't he, with this, with having Burrows on at the same time as McCallum. I think he just seemed to want to maybe drag the game over to the other side of the pitch a little bit.
Yeah, possibly.
In some way or another, but I think I was clutching at straws, to be honest. I don't know what it achieved in the end.
So going into Stoke then, Russ, what would you change for the game?
For Hamer.
Brooks in for Hamer on the left.
Yeah, and I like Brooks on the left.
Yeah, he's played well. He's played well.
And keep McCallum to start. Unfortunate for that goal today. His body shape was all wrong. He tried for the wrong technique completely. He should have been heading away and not trying to flick on behind. And that's where his deficiencies are. And you can talk about similar deficiencies with Sariki on the other side, but it's because the wing backs, not full backs.
That's true. I agree with that.
Sariki, all this stuff can be coached. So we'll see. Particularly with Sariki being quite young.
Would you go 2 up top against Stoke?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So does that mean Danny Ings? I'd start with Ings, I think.
Ings and Bamford. Who comes out of the midfield then? Hamer for Brooks, but does that mean Chong comes out for you as well?
Chong, sorry. Yes, of course. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't think Chong's horses for courses player.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a decent impact player, can change the game a little bit, but I don't think he's a starter necessarily for it.
I mean, he can start a game, and if he's going well, then fine. But I don't think I think he'll blow himself out, or he can easily his game can get disturbed. Maybe a bit of physicality or people doubling up on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of these days. No different to Raksaki, probably Chong.
That's a blast from the past, isn't it? The recent past, but
it's another conversation. Just talking about. I think somebody suggested he might be coming back the other day.
Who knows what January is going to bring? It's one of the most unpredictable Januaries I think we've had.
Yeah, I've just been saying we needed to get as many points on board as we could before January, so that we're attractive and we've got a platform to spring forward from. If we can get 6 points out of the next 2 games, I'd be either delighted.
Absolutely. I think your automatic shout might have faded by now, to be honest.
Just.
Hey, even Lewis is saying the season's gone. One of your fellow positive Blades.
He's had a busy Christmas with kids.
He has.
He's a bit jaded. Yeah. It'd be all
Too
right.
much G&T, I think, something like that.
Yeah, I might have to reassess my assessment of things, but I'm not going to leave it till January.
Okay,
or
mate.
Unless mathematically impossible, of course.
I love that.
Yeah.
Russ, thank you for joining us, pal. And I'll catch
You're more
you
than
soon.
welcome, mate. Happy Christmas.
Yeah,
to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas to you.
I've said it already, and I'll catch you very soon.
Top man. Cheers, Russ. See you soon, pal. All the Blades. Top man. Nice one, Russ. Thank you for joining us, pal. I'm jumping straight into another call. It's the one, the only. Jamie Dumpling. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, it's all right. That were rough. But I think that were a combination of, first half, it's recovery from that one.
First half, it's recovery.
No, second half is recovery from the first half, should I say. Not just from players, for fans, so we can actually catch his breath. That was mental first half.
Crazy first half, weren't it? Crazy.
It was like Swindon in playoffs all over again.
Yeah, it was. That's a good comparison, actually.
What are you doing with your head, by the way?
What?
What are you doing with your head?
It was like that.
All right. No, it's because you're there and my webcam's there, so I'm all over the place. Plus, I've got Man United in background.
Oh, have you? Secret Man U fan, are you?
Yeah. No.
All right. Okay. What score with Man U, Newcastle?
0-0. It's not like ours in 15 minutes where you've had about 70 goals.
Right. Okay. Fair news. So, what do you make to that today, then, pal? I know it was crazy first half, recovery second half, and just try and get some, but we didn't contain it at all, did we? Does it worry you now? Does it worry you about where we are and what we need?
I mean, attacking wise, I think the last few games have shown we've not really got an issue there at all, from mainly, especially since Bamford's come in, which needs to sign the contract. And I think if I'm Wilder, I'm going, right, attackers, leave the dressing room. You've done your job, so well done. Midfield and defence, stay here, because your lot have got a serious
So
issue.
basically, Bamford leave the room.
Yeah, Bamford, pretty much it. Because the wide players as well have not helped at all defensively. Gus him, I get it's Gus. But even when he did track back, he weren't rushing at all. Chonga, he looked okay going forward, but again, Sariki needs help. And Ruxy, he sort of did that when he came on, but not as he didn't have much chance to do it anyway because he came on late.
What do we need in January, pal? From your
We need
estimation?
wingers, midfielders, for the love of God, and probably a better another right back, because we've only really got one out-and-out right back at the minute that's going to stay fit, because Shackleton can't stay fit. Sariki is the only one, and he needs help for cover. And then Tanganga is not right back. He can do a job there, but he's not right back.
I agree with you. So right back as competition for Sariki, competition / backup. You want a midfielder to.
If City goes, then you need two.
I don't think City's going. I know there's a bit of panic in the fan base.
I agree, but even with his injury, I think we still need cover in case. Because with Tom Davis, he's in and out all the time. You then got Gyro, who's the only player who can really do his job. City and Arblasen, that's it. So you might need one or two, even if City goes potentially for that second one. Just maybe not someone that's going to play week in, week out, but just more of a squad player. But even then, if you get Hamza Chowdhury as that right back, he can do that job. So it's a balancing act. And then just another winger, maybe two, because Benny will come back and he's not going to be good. And then you got Barry to replace as well.
Oh, mate. It's never boring being a Blade, is it?
No,
never boring.
Not in the slightest.
Did you have a nice Christmas, pal?
I did, thank you. Good to meet Rich Carrington, who very kindly offered me to have Christmas dinners.
Did you go to his today?
No, I didn't. I stayed here. I think he might be in Doghouse from the sounds of it.
Oh, he's in Doghouse?
Yeah.
Well, I'll see if I can see him from here then, to be honest, because I am too. So, right. So, yeah, I know he kindly offered to have you around at his, but you met him for a pint, didn't you, Christmas Day, I think?
Yeah. Well, a pint of water I was driving, so don't drink and drive, people.
So, pint of water, and then you sent us that Gustavo song.
Yeah, no, he were on about 4 at that point. I were on half.
He needs to get himself on here, doesn't he? He needs to get himself on more.
Legend.
Rather than just be the Oz behind the scenes that nobody sees. So, okay, Jamie, what's your thoughts going into Stoke then, pal?
I mean, you look at when we played them, 3 weeks ago, you'd think we'd walk all over these, and what were their result today? I think, did they lose again?
Not sure. Let's have a look. Go on. I'm
They
gonna have to know.
really dropped some form since they played us, realistically. So I think it's probably a good time to play him.
0-0 with Preston at home.
The what? Sorry.
0-0 with Preston at home.
Okay. Preston, they're a good side at home, but they're not amazing away. So they've really dropped some form in me. I think it's probably the right time to play him. Where again we can go again. It's a short turnaround, and then on to Leicester, who again bottled it completely. And again, another side we played really recently that I think we can have. So it's probably an ideal 2 games. It's not great that one of them's away, but at least we've still got the what do you call it now? The home game on New Year's Day, and that's probably an ideal one more than anything, especially with it going into the new year.
Well said, mate. Well said. Would you change the formation at all? Or the personnel?
It depends on who you're bringing in. I think Danny Ings at the minute, for me, is just someone you want coming off the bench. Cannon, I don't know. It felt like this was the type of game to play Cannon just because it's someone that can rag the defence about a bit. Same with Ty Campbell. If one's dragging him, the other can go in behind. I would have kept, in fairness to Wilder, I would have kept the lineup.
Yeah.
Because it were a brilliant performance. But it was squad, the game management that were really questionable. At one point, we didn't know what formation we were playing because Burrows were drifting so far back. It then became a 5. And then he went forward, and then you're
thinking, well, Gus must have gone to the side, but then Gus is still on left.
No right winger at one point.
No, they weren't.
Our blaster were right winger when Burrows first came on. It were a mess, but I think it probably does force them where Bamford will play again. It's probably just managing minutes with him because 1, he's getting on a bit, and 2, we've got the game in 3 days' time. So you play him probably with Ty Campbell maybe. Play Brooks here. You got to manage minutes. But him were a straggler today. You weren't amazing. I think he was potentially trying to calm the game down, but he just didn't look like he gave that much effort, so he didn't help his case. So you make a few changes, but just see how it gets on. Who knows? We're not the one being paid millions.
Correct. Well said, Jamie Dumpling. Well, thank you, mate. You're not going to Stoke, are you?
No.
Okay, mate. No worries. Well, I will see you I'll certainly see you at Leicester.
Yeah.
But I'll also, I'm sure I'll speak to you before. But thank you for coming on, pal, and I'll catch up with you soon.
See you in a bit. Good luck with the doghouse.
Yeah, cheers, mate. I'll need it. See you in a bit. Ta-ra, pal. Nice one, Jamie Dumpling. Ledge. Quickly becoming a bit of a cult hero on the Blades Ramble. Liam just sends in a $1.99 super chat, likely out of sympathy. Thank you, my mate. Hope you're good. Dom the Blade says, terrible game management in the second half. As Danny All said, we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Up the Blades, up all the rambles, like and subscribe. Andrew says, concede 5, don't win. Simple. That's exactly what Wilder said. And I agree completely. Mr. Crew says, a main keeper and some defenders have to be top of the list for the January window. Interesting. Hutch says, is this now looking down the league instead of up? So disappointing after being 2 goals ahead. No, I'm still looking up, personally. That doesn't mean I think we'll get promoted, but I think we've got to believe that we are a top half side in this league and see how far we can get. Absolutely embarrassing for me, says Will. That's the season over. The board ruined it from the start of the season when we've not been able to push on since they need to take a really hard look at themselves. We've not been able to push on since. They need to take a really hard look at themselves. James Board going in at the Wendy's. That should be interesting. Mark says it's beer time. Lots of the Blades. Jamie says can't see you, Jimmy, on the chat thing. Yeah, no worries, pal. We've sorted it now, haven't we? Desperately disappointed, says Jenko. Yeah, hope you're well, pal. One of our Platinum Ramblers. Me too, pal. Wayne says, another Platinum Rambler says, another second half disaster. Some of those players aren't good enough. Bring on Jan. Like who, Wayne? I'm interested to hear who you think. And you can come on and have a chat about it if you want. You're more than welcome. I know you haven't been very well. Hope you're feeling better, pal. Blades 4878 says 3-3 and bring Burrows on. God forbid, actually put another striker on and go for it. Fair. Russ says, never address the left-hand side for me. Sariki can't defend and looks too high up the pitch most of the time. Defensive errors across the board. Weak in midfield, concede 5 and can't expect to win. I think it's hard because I have been quite consistent with my criticism of Sariki's defensive abilities, and I think he's been very good for a lot of the season. So when you pick like, or when you talk about stuff like that when he's doing well, you get sort of deemed as being negative or having an agenda against certain players. It's certainly not that against Sariki. I'm just calling it as I see it, and I'm just being honest about it. I do think he's got deficiencies defensively. I think he's becoming almost exceptional going forward at this level. He's a real threat further up the pitch. And I know a lot of people, I think Man Mountain previously, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but has suggested we try him as a winger, as a right winger, if we could. Obviously, at the moment, we wouldn't be suggesting that because we've no right back at all, if that's the case. But he's certainly talented enough to do that job. But then when you see a performance like tonight, and it wasn't just Sariki tonight that was poor defensively, but this is what we mean. But again, he won't be playing for Sheffield United in Championship if he was, Trent Alexander-Arnold. So it's one of those, isn't it? Unfortunately. Should there be a Wilder in or Wilder out poll? Says Jimmy, just stirring the pot there. No, I don't think they should. Old habits die hard, says Regal Smokes. Absolutely. George says, this is one of the craziest seasons I've witnessed as a Blade. It's like we can only play one half of football. It's one extreme to the next. There's no in between. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Wow, what the flip happened, says Finn. Crazy, mate. Crazy. We weren't good enough second half. No two ways about it. They were better as well. You have to give them credit too. Sariki and been an absolute joke at the back, says John. We were second best in every department. Jimmy, where did it go wrong? Cad says Chong should have put it away when put through, but he was losing the ball quite a bit. I agree. I think we need improvements there as well. Again, you don't like to dig out your own players, and you don't like to be seen as reactionary after a loss, because that could get jumped on. But I think we need to improve, or certainly need competition at right back. We have to hope that left back comes good. I will probably look at a centre half. I don't mean instead of Bindon or Tanganga, because I like them both, but I'm not a huge McGuinness fan. And I don't mind saying these things openly and honestly. Don't label it as a criticism of, a permanent problem with these players. But I think after the three centre midfielders of Peck, Riedeveld and Arblaster, we're struggling in the middle. I don't think you can count on Tom Davis anymore. I don't think we've been able to for a while, unfortunately. And then there's a huge drop-off to Matos and Samari. Not really seen enough of Matos, but from what I have seen, it's not great. I don't think Chong's great, if I'm honest. I think he can come on and have an impact, like I was saying to Russ earlier. But I'm not confident in him being a starter. I think Brooks is way too inconsistent. I think he's also better on the left, but that void is filled by Gus, who himself has been way too inconsistent, but you're not going to get anybody that's going to start in front of Gus on a regular basis. I think Callum O'Hare can hold his head high this season and has played really well. I think, to be honest, Callum O'Hare and Patrick Bamford are probably, and Tanganga by default, and obviously Cooper, because it's a huge drop-off to Davis, in my opinion. There's not many more, other than Sariki, because of the current situation, that automatically start. I think the only ones that have genuinely earned their spot, and you could say McCallum before tonight as well. I'm not dissing McCallum because he's had a great season so far. but Bamford can hold his head high, and O'Hare can hold his head high, and I think both still can tonight. And the rest of them, even Arblaster, I think he's doing his best, but he's chasing himself. I need to get back to the levels, and it's a big ask of him. A big ask of him. Danny says, agree with Lou. Let's just get to the summer with a bit of pride. You need proper momentum in this league to do anything. We're a one-on, one-off team, and remember they had some of their main men out. Beast Boy says, Jimmy, when's the transfer window? Players you want video coming out? I'd already done it, but I did it early, so we're on about redoing it. Beast Boy, I might have a look at it after the Oxford game. I'm going to get my dad on. We're going to do a talking sense and talking about the transfer window. I'm also going to, so I might double it up with that, and then we'll get him back on in Feb after the window as well, and we'll review it too. So we'll do a fair bit. Don't worry about that. Brand says, why did we take our only goal threat in Bamford off? Players like Windass can do the full 90. This is why we won't be in the top 6. We're nowhere near a top 6 side in a very poor league. I disagree. I think we are a top 6 side in a poor league. But the evidence says otherwise, Bran. So that sounds daft to say out loud. If we were all starting from 0 now, I think a lot of people would back Sheffield United to get in the top 6. I think we're skewed because of the start we had. Having said that, it's very disappointing that we can't turn these games into something. And we've been done tonight, and rightly done. We didn't deserve to get anything out of the game on that second half performance. Jack says, how have we let this happen again? This happened then. It's unacceptable to go 3-1 up and then lose 5-3. Defences let themselves down, in my opinion. Woolton says, after watching the game today, we need a defensive right back and left back and a goalkeeper to give Cooper actual competition instead of Davis, who's just a bench warmer at this point. Russ says, I think the Wilder outshouts are very reactive. Not every manager gets it right every game. I agree. Fralpa says, as an owl, I struggle to understand why your defence is so bad with a base of Bindon, Tanganga and Cooper. On paper, looks one of the best in the division. I think confidence plays a huge part. And to be honest, those three, particularly the defenders, were brilliant against Birmingham. So it's not as simple as... It were a poor performance all round, I think, tonight from the majority of our side. Chuffing at Wrexham, absolutely fuming how we lost to him, says Beast Boy. Blades 375 says, I can't believe I'm seeing Wilder out. Madness. The board this summer have done this and are getting away with it due to Wilder coming back and getting results. Brand says, the whole team wants ripping up and starting again in the summer. Just about at my tether with this inconsistent, incompetent bunch. West Brom Part 2, says Pete. Regal Smoke says, didn't even think Bindon played bad. Just got unlucky. Saw many chances shut down by Bindon today. We haven't got any other options at the moment. Hutch says, I've been watching Blades since 82 and I can't remember anything. Many Boxing Day fixtures we've done well in, to be honest. Too much Christmas dinner for the lads. Michael says, struggle with Broadhead as well, second half. Yes, we did. Ran through the middle. Yeah, I think Bindon... I agree in terms of, I think Bindon's getting the spotlight put on him a little bit unfairly tonight, but I think he did allow him to run at him for a little bit too long. I think that was for the fourth. Can't keep up, to be honest. Wavo says, I think I commented too late on the last stream, but we all know how small our side is and we've been outdone by giants. We're a good team and still a team to fear. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Well said, mate. Well said. Russ says, weirdly, I think not as bad a performance as West Brom away as we couldn't lay a glove. I think our own errors have cost us and not keeping the ball and controlling the game. Julie says, be grateful for 3 goals. The goal difference can make a difference at the end of the season. Yeah, we're -2 for that game though, aren't we? We're not ready for promotion this season. Just admit it and stay up and then go again next year. Julie, I understand what you're saying. Completely understand it. But we will be a worse side, certainly financially, which will mean that we have to sell a couple of good players in the summer. And statistically, the odds are we will be a worse side next year than we are this year because of the quality that we'll have to sell in the summer to balance the books because of the parachute issue. So I know what you're saying, and I think we're going to have no choice but to go again next season and sort of clear the decks. And it might not be a bad thing overall because a quality team beats quality individuals every time. But it's still very frustrating when this season and this league looks here for the taking, and we have just not been at the races this season. We've not. We've been a part of the poor league. We've been a part of teams coming and getting results over Sheffield United that we shouldn't be getting beat by. And, you know, that's just our opinion, isn't it? Pete says Wilder out is nonsense. We know we're not the finished article in January. We're after 4 Premier League players to level up. We need this. There'll be other losses this season. Just hard to take this one. Mark, our Blade from Portland, Oregon, who I definitely can't do the accent of. Been in a terrific game. Lack of depth was exposed. And then it's been in a terrible game. Lack of depth was clear today. Interesting. So which one are we going with? Terrible, terrific. No, I think it was a typo on terrific, and he thinks he had a terrible game. Tom says Samari is absolutely useless. Rich Crocker says, evening Jimmy and Ramblers. We need to remember we're in a rebuild of sorts. It's disappointing we threw it away, but we need to just survive, and then we look at a push. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. John says, why is Hamer not criticised for his performance? I thought he did nothing positive all match. I think that was said before we criticised Hamer, to be honest, John. So we have covered that. Defending was criminal all night, says Rye. Ben Mee hugely missed. This is a huge eye-opener. James says, anyone else wonder how Moore seemed a yard quicker compared to when we had him? Scored more for Wrexham already. It begs the question, why? Blades Edit says we've thrown it away. Isaac says, that's Bindon out for me. Had a part to play in all 5 goals conceded. Own goal, pen, didn't mark properly on the corner, didn't play Wrexham player offside, didn't track back. I think that's very, very harsh, but I can see that you can involve him in every goal. I think it was a disappointing performance from him, but others also. Wayne Cooper commanding his box as well, says Jack. I agree with this. We just got schooled by Disney FC everywhere on the park. I don't think we did get schooled. I think they rode the momentum, in all honesty. Scoring 3 would have been enough if our defence wasn't poor. Alvectra says, we have no midfield. Their midfield got all the loose balls, and all we did was pass the ball between themselves, not going forward, only backwards, even from halfway line, passing it to the keeper. Up the Blades. Meggie says, can't understand the CW out. He's dragged us out of the bottom 3. Maybe a leaf out of Daniel Farker's book. Change the system in and out of games. Up the Ramble. CJ Vids says, seems the players just turned up expecting to win today, considering Wrexham's form. That's now Norwich, West Brom and Wrexham, all teams in bad form that the lads have looked utterly poor in the match. Yeah. It's hard to argue that, isn't it? Chris says, I say every week, whoever says we are going into the playoffs are living in cloud cuckoo land. Yes, I did say it after Birmingham. And yes, I did say it after Birmingham. Fair enough. Sam says, it's not good enough. Sick of this Wilder is God, Wilder is Pope. It's nonsense. Can you bow down when you mention that man's name, please? Ben says, evening Jimmy, me in that team and we win. Interesting shout, and some may agree with that, to be honest. We certainly don't ship in 5 goals. You'd like to put Ben Mee on somebody like Kiefer Moore, wouldn't you, and think that he'd do a better job. Praying for a clear out of the loans and bring in loans that are genuinely better than our best 11, which is what they're for. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Thank you, my mate. Taz says, garbage from Wilder. He needed the change at half-time and did nothing. Weren't we 3-1 up at half-time? We're 3-1 up, weren't we? J&A Challengers says, I don't think Wilder has covered himself in glory. You could see the issues in the first half, and he didn't seem to want to change anything. Andrew says, bring new keeper in. Bindon's not good enough. It's amazing this. Bindon went man at match last game. Short memories, I think, personally, for some. And he should rightly get criticised when he has a poor game. I'm not saying that at all either. But he's gone from 4th choice to 2nd choice by default because Mee's injured. And certainly seen as reasonable backup for me. I think McGuinness is down the pecking order now, and rightly so, in my opinion. He says we can still make the playoffs if we can bring some good players in January. All the defence were terrible, says Action Location, who, like myself, is a huge Michael Cooper fan, but we're not trying to defend any of them. Deep thinking required in January, he says. Tom says Wilder looked fuming at 2-1 United. He knew what was coming. Deary me. Olive O'Connor says, "Hey Jimmy, Olve, sorry, not Olive. Olve here, back in Norway now. Terrible defending today. It was the same Tyler Binden from the was it the same Tyler Binden from the Birmingham game? I hope we get back to winning ways. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank you, mate. Please, Bamford, sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract. Thank you to Papa Blade for becoming a Ramble supporter. Much appreciated, pal. Rick says, Wilder has to answer why we're so bad second half. Whatever he says clearly doesn't work. Tactically got it wrong today as well. I don't know how to say this without sounding harsh, but I'll say it anyway. I didn't rate the interviewer post-match. I thought there were a few more questions that he could have dug into. And I'm not... Obviously, this was what we're watching on Sky. He may have spoken to Radio Sheffield afterwards like he often does. So it'll be interesting to see what he said to them, because they'll hopefully have asked him some more in-depth questions. And if not, then we'll probably get it in the presser pre-Stoke. But I'd like to hear similar questions. Tactically got it wrong today, says Rick. So it'd be interesting to see what he does say when he's got a chance to certainly analyse it, but also then explain in detail really where he thinks went wrong. Might get a spiky Wilder like we've seen before. Look, just players didn't do the job, they didn't turn up. It wasn't a tactical issue from our point of view. That sort of thing, but we'll see. We'll see what he says. Selly says, now that's how bad we can be. Defence non-existent. Cooper doesn't look like a keeper anymore. Hamer useless and no one to come on and make a difference. Mid-table at best. We have too many bad games. We certainly have. We certainly have had too many bad games. Statman Jack says, another loss that hurts. To be honest, I thought if we were going to lose any, it would be the Birmingham game. Saying that, Wrexham have only lost one at home. We did throw it away, and it just shows if Gyro isn't on, the midfield is weak, especially with Peck missing and Arblaster still trying to get back to his best. Aside from that, if we can go and repeat the previous performance against Stoke and do it again on Monday, then we're back in business. We are 2 points away from Cov at the end of last year. Win Monday, and we're a point ahead of where they were. Hopefully we can begin to look a lot stronger in January. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Chris says, watch the replay. McCallum is shoved in the back by the Wrexham player who scores. Didn't see that. I will watch the replay, Chris. I will watch that, pal. Ian says, can't we get rid of Wilder? He's not exactly a good football tactician, and bring in Carlo Ancelotti. Nice, nicely done. Proves what it does show that we didn't play to more strengths. Yeah, don't disagree with that at all. And I agree. I thought it was a good play for us. I think it was the right business decision. The right business decision for the club to sell him when we did. I have to say that he's done really well for Wrexham, which makes it sound like a bit of a daft statement in hindsight. But the amount of money we got for him, the money that he was on week to week, and he wouldn't have been a regular starter for us, just didn't fit in our system. But he's obviously gone to Wrexham, done really well for them, and I don't mind him at all. Pablo says, I worry that seasons like this will be what we have to put up with for the next few years. Is there any truth to the Harry Clark rumour? Probably, in all honesty, probably there is. Hope not, as I don't rate him at all. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Should have played McGuinness if he was fit, just to cancel out more. Disagree. Chuzza says, cheers for the spanking last game, by the way. No problem. You're doing fine. Just a win behind us. Chuzza, the Birmingham fan. No worries, pal. Cooler King says, I'd ask Gaz, the man in black, why he thinks there is no one out there who could be better than Wilder. I'm not a Wilder out at all, but it worries me when Blades refuse to consider change. I refuse to consider change at the moment, Cooler King, I have to say, mate. Chris says, started brilliant, taking our chances, but we have got to do better defensively. I never think when we're away that even when we're in front, we can't seem to hold a lead. Fair. Jack says, Gus is a luxury we can't afford anymore, in my opinion. Danny says, one thing we can be certain about is we can't expect anything from this team anymore. In the words of Gattuso, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe poo. Tonight was the first time Wrexham started the three of Broadhead, Windass and Moore. They looked dangerous every time going forward, says Michael. Bonkers match. Bamford clinical. Hamer was a ghost. O'Hare was class. Thank you, my mate. Paul Walker says, I have to echo Mark Meldrew with, I don't believe it. Heads just go down when we go behind. Justin says, pathetic defensive performance over the full 90. They were the better team throughout, and they are average, and that's my real concern. Time for Wilder to take some responsibility. Back to 19th is poor. I think we're 18th out, but it's still poor, whatever it is. Chariot says, got to get him in the game, though, Jack. Gus is way above any Wrexham player, but we've got to get him in the game. Pete says, those talking of playoffs need to wake up with 4 points off relegation. Guys, don't forget how you battered us, says Chuzza, the Birmingham fan. It's easy to, isn't it? Easy for some to forget. I agree. Don't get too high when we win. Don't get too low when we lose, because we could go and turn Stoke over next game and everybody will be optimistic again. I know a lot of people will still say the playoffs have gone now, and that's a sensible thing to say. But, you know, it's not all over tonight. It's not season done. And if we beat Stoke, it's not definitely on either. So, and it's hard to manage those emotions. It's especially after a defeat. Ricky says, hi, Jim. To quality players don't do much in a game. They just don't. Look at Haaland. Yeah, it's Prem, but doesn't get noticed further down. But it's still the case. We played the wrong formation. It should have been 4-4-2 for me. Easy to say in hindsight, Rick. Easy to say, but nobody can complain that he's gone with the same team again that did so well against Birmingham. Tough ask. We're too inconsistent, says Pete. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, says Rick. Cheers for the Birmingham mention. Sorry, pal. Chef Paul says, shipping 5 goals is never acceptable. 2 bad performances have left us with little belief that the playoffs are possible. Stick says, can never turn being United and go on to win the game. Aye. Meggie says, Jimmy, football aside, hope you and the family had a great Christmas day. All the best for the new year. Looking forward to your shows in 2026, pal. Stay positive. Thank you, Meggie. I certainly did, and I hope you did too. Michael says, Wrexham's centre midfielder turned into left wing back for the first time ever. Won man of the match with a 9 rating and 3 assists. Madness. Mogga says, turned it off at half time to go to the Panto and predicted we lose 4-3. Predictable as night follows day. So weak in goal this season. Spreads up the team. 3-1 up to 5-3 is pathetic game management. We're missing Peck massively, says Carl. Paul says, Jamie, did you have dumplings on your dinner? We need sprucing up on the wings, says Giant Killer. I'm not reading that, Chuzza. We need midfielders with legs, says James. Ian says we need a right back, 2 midfielders, one like a fit Brian Robinson. One more striker like Billy Whitehurst. Papa Blade says, hi Jimmy, do you think our recent form means we are less attractive to come to and will give owners an excuse not to invest money when they maybe don't have it anyway? No, I don't. I think the way Wilder's talking, he will be backed in January. In January, need decent second keeper, right back, centre midfielder, and a number 9 if Super Paddy B doesn't extend his contract. I'm confident Paddy will be here. Ian says, sorry, if someone came in with 10 million for him, I would gladly drive him there. He's so lazy and overrated. Rye says, tactically inept from Wilder being outthought by Parkinson is embarrassing. Writing was on the doors at half-time to change to a 3 at the back. Chong, useless. Felt sorry for Sariki. He was left isolated. Hamer needs to go, says Phil. Gaz says, the man in black says midfield is the concern. Blaster needs till at least February to be back at the correct levels. Peck is injured and will need some time. Lack of cover for sure. Soren says, aren't Wilder's players always in trouble towards the end of matches? Poorly trained? No, I don't think so. We look fitter now than we certainly did under Sayers. Chris says, also, don't forget we were top of the form chart before today. Rebuild, and we've turned a corner over the last few months. Poor game, but take stock and go again. Well said, Chris. Well said. TBBBBBB30 says, worst performance of the season. Absolutely outrageous shout. Outrageous shout. Oh, ye of little short memory. Oh, my goodness. We had Ruben Sayers managing us this season, by the way. For flip's sake, now Callum's going to have a field day. I was rooting for you, says Ren. Sorry, pal. Can we, Oxford, have Matos on loan, please? Thanks. Yes, you can. He was great for us. Where has he played for you? Not a lot to him. He played a little bit in midfield. We brought him on as right back not so long since. Yeah, you can have him, mate. Eric says, I'm still worried about the chance of relegation if these second half performances continue, and also if stories of the new owners being skint are true. No new players in January affordable. The new owners are not skint. I don't mind telling anybody that. The new owners are definitely not skint. They were late paying Prince Abdullah. I think that was a choice. I think that was a choice, and it was a poor choice, in my opinion. But that's business, and that happens in business, unfortunately. So, yeah, I don't worry about there being no money available. Danny says COH Sports out is the only out we should be talking about. Have we discussed them being late paying debts owed to the Prince? One thing after another. John says, hi Jimmy, I'll sum us up with one word tonight. Inconsistent. All too often we were a one-half team. Playoffs off, but next week could be on. Exactly right. Ian says, COH Sports not started any work on the new training complex at Door. No, I think that's on back burner, isn't it? Ian says, COH Sports, still no interviews. Alex says, Wrexham fan here. I come in peace. Cheers for the 3 points. Best of luck for the rest of the season. It hurts, but same to you, pal. I think you played well tonight. I think you played well. I don't think we did. You can do magic, says in his preview, Jimmy said this was a game for McGuinness, but Wilder would pick Bindon. Although Jimmy was right. McGuinness and Brooks for Bindon and Chong was blindingly obvious at half-time. Wilder knew better. I have to say, I may have said that. I don't remember saying it, but I'm sure I did. I also, in my team, I picked Bindon as well. Because I think you have to trust Wilder after the Birmingham game to go with the same team again, which he did. And it didn't work tonight. I says January needs to come quick. Got Naff all in depth. Defence is poor. Some of these Sayers signings have gone quick time. Rich, I were holding out for you. Rich Gill was waiting in the green room and he's gone. If he wants to come back, he can do. But if not, we will start to call this early. Nath says, said it since last season, Sariki is a right winger, not a right back. Get Hamza in at right back. Get Bamford signed on a longer and another centre back. And also some competition for Cooper would be good. Trafford on loan, maybe. That was a bold and brilliant Lee shout as well. I'm not saying you've seen it from there, Nath, but he's getting no minutes where he is. Is it City? I don't know where he is. Can't remember off the top of my head. But he's getting no time at all. He'd only come as a number one anywhere with James Trafford, and he's. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it would happen. Let's see. Any more? If not, we might be wrapping up a touch early. Jack says, I have faith in the Jan window will kick us on. Wilder will already be speaking and looking. If the 3 or 4 or anything like Bamford and Gyro will be fine. And Gaz says, Trafford on loan. I wish. Rich, I assume you're not coming back, pal. Chef Steele says, was like watching Kevin Keegan's Newcastle. Good news. We look dangerous up front, but where was the defence? We've looked so much better defensively recently as well, haven't we? It's so disappointing. Trafford on loan, expensive, and are we trying to drive Cooper out? No, I think it's more in case Cooper needs some work doing to an injury that a lot of us suspect he might have. I could see Wilder going for somebody like Fraser Forster for competition. I could too, but I don't think we'll go for a keeper, in all honesty. I don't think we will. I'd be surprised if we did. And if we do, it will guarantee to me that Cooper is injured. Because I don't think we'd do it just for form reasons. I think we'd do it for long-term health of the keeper. Gaz says, that's the good news compared to last season. We do actually score goals. And the beginning of this season, Gaz, we went under Ruben Sayers. We went 4 games with 3 shots on target over 4 games. Absolutely outrageous. Outrageous. Jack says, clearly an issue with Cooper is not claiming crosses. Bad back. Rumours of a bad back. Rumours of a bad knee. Rumours of tendonitis. All sorts. Action Location says, Happy New Year to top 6 finish, Jimmy. Don't. That's bait. You're trying to bait some people in the chat, but we're going to leave it there. I want to say thank you to everybody that's joined us tonight. We're calling it a touch early because I think I've got everybody's comment in. Apologies, I might have missed 1 or 2, but I know that you've all had a comment read. Walton says, I also agree about Sariki's fantastic at right midfield and right wing. If we can get someone out like Hamza, imagine that side of defence and the offence that it would bring as well. Well said. Yeah, thank you to everybody for joining me. We'll be back, I believe. In fact, I'll double check while I'm on because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're back tomorrow. We're back tomorrow because there's no rest, is there? There's no rest. We're back tomorrow at 7 with countdown to kick off because it is Stoke City next up. That's the only decent thing about when you get beat. In the Championship, there's always a game around the corner, or there's usually a game around the corner. So we're back again tomorrow 7 o'clock live for the countdown to kick off for Stoke. We'll forget about this game, put it to bed, and we'll go again against Stoke and hopefully pull something together. Last couple of comments. Not got a bright future, has he, Cooper, with all these problems? Some credit back with get some credit back with Mrs. Ramble. I think that ship sailed at the moment for, it's more a time thing, I think, Gaz, where I've just got to ride it out and then, in a day or two, she'll hopefully forget it. Also, at this point, I would take Sousa back for Hamer right now. Sousa? Yeah, I think a lot of us would take Sousa back. Don't worry about that. Bryce says, keep it Ramble, people. Thank you to everybody for joining us. What a terrible result for Sheffield United. Poor performance. But we go again. We have to go again. Join me tomorrow night for the countdown to kick off. Thank you to all my callers that have joined us. Thank you to everybody that's joined us in the chat. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the Blades!